Peace for you that are listening to me. It's a great pleasure to be here again. Thanks for connecting and tuning in so that we can make this Bible study together. Today, we're going to be talking about shortcuts. Today's Bible verse is in John chapter 18, verses 10 and 11. Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. So Jesus said to Peter, put your sword into the sheath. Shall I not drink the cup which my Father has given me? So here we're talking about a shortcut. This scenario, we have Jesus in his last moments, okay? And Judas, he betrays Jesus with a kiss, and the soldiers come in to take Jesus to jail. This moment, Peter, he draws a sword or a knife or a dagger, type of blade, and he cuts off the servant's ear. And Jesus talks to Peter, tells him not to do that, prays for the man, and his ear is restored. Okay, so what we have here is a situation where Jesus, he had to pass through the judgment. He had to suffer. He had to pass through all this process so that he could resurrect, and today me and you would have him as our savior. Just that Peter, he did not have this understanding. And we also understand that Peter did not want Jesus to have to pass through all of that suffering. That all of the He didn't want Jesus to suffer to have to conclude his mission, which is something very common nowadays. We have pastors and we have churches where people do not understand what sin is. They do not understand that they have sinned against God, and they are expecting to receive God's mercy. Of course, we already have that certainty. That is something sure that we have, that God has forgiven us with his son on the cross. Just that we still need to change our lives. We still need to live a life that is designed with righteousness. So today I invite you to analyze your life and see what are the areas in your life where you need God's presence. Understand that you are passing through a process. Try to understand what are the steps that God is driving you into. Where is he taking you? Why you shouldn't really be be worried about that, but you should be analyzing what is God doing in your life, and to what point are you ready to sacrifice? Are you ready to go forward so that you can achieve more? In this scenario we have here, where Peter, he wanted Jesus not to pass through the suffering and still be the Messiah. But Jesus, he already knew, because he received, God told him when he was praying at the mount that he was going to pass through all this suffering, to a point where Jesus was crying blood. He was in a deep state of suffering. But it is a process. It is a process that takes Jesus to become. He goes before Pontius Pilatus, and there he is judged as the Messiah. He is put to cross. He he receives his judgment to die the worst type of death that there was. But this all happened so that he could be glorified, so that everyone would know, really, yes, he really did die. He died, and he didn't just he wasn't caught. He gave his life. He himself turned himself in, but it was made for a purpose, and this was a higher purpose. So I invite you again to not take the shortcuts, for you to have faith, for you to be sure, you're certain that God is guiding your life. My name is Bertrand Aaron, and I hope this video has been a blessing for your life.